is I stained the steps yesterday, and then this morning every other step here that doesn't have the paper towels I varnished. So this is a stain, and then that's the varnish. So it's more of a glossy. It's absolutely beautiful. I love it. I tried to custom shade it to match this hand railing as best I could. But this is a little bit sun faded, I think. So, and just from people like sliding their hands up and down, because you can tell it's like darker in the middle and then it's lighter where people's hands have been rubbing. But yeah, so we'll have to not step here, step there. And then you just kind of every other step, because our bedrooms are all up there. That way we can actually like get up there. So I kind of have it like blocked off. And then the game plan is at night, we will both just like carry a dog up because we're gonna have to go up every other step. But everything is just a mess. And I'm doing oil base, which is like, I hate doing oil base because then you have to have like a special like stripper and then you varnish and your oil. And it's a lot. I don't like doing it, but I think the after product will look beautiful. Okay, on to the next project. Not like I need another project, but we have two massive cabinets that I purchased on sale that we need to build. They're going to go here and here, and it should come up pretty close to here, and it should fill the space. Because I got all these books. I need a bookshelf. This is all from the renovations, like when we had to clear out the laundry room, bathrooms, closets. We just piled everything in here. And as you can see over here, my bookcase is getting pretty full. This is all my Goosebump books, and I'm running out of room. Plus, all the books that we've been dragging up from the basement because we're actually redoing the basement. I'm not sure why we're starting all these projects, but we are. So we got to build these massive. I had to use a dolly. They were so freaking heavy. Not like I need another project, but yeah, we got more projects to do. So that is what I'm going to be working on this morning. I'm hopeful to get one built today, and then I can get it put in this corner and start like picking up some of this mess. And then the other one will probably be like a couple weeks out because I'm going to have my new job started a couple days ago. And then I have like 3 days off, and then it's going to start again. So I'm like, I got 3 days to get this shit done. So my hope is to get one cabinet built today, and then we start like, I can start working on this area, and then that will help, I think, because it's giving me anxiety at this point. I don't know what kind of nightmare I just got myself into, but I'm instantly regretting this. The cabinet itself was pretty like easy to put together, but back here, this part, which mind you not, there's like a gajillion screw holes, right? They didn't start the hole for you. No, nothing. No little dots to even get you started. So I have to like basically hand crank these into solid wood. This is the heaviest piece, the top and the bottom. Everything else has like holes ready for you to screw into, but these. I'm like, bro, you could have at least started it for us. What happened? What? Ooh, this looks dirty. Yes. What the fuck do you see? What the actual fuck?
Oh my god, it's dripping all over the place.
It's everywhere.
Oh, Lord help me.
You literally sprayed white shit all over.
Lord help me.
What the fuck just happened? Explain yourself.
I'm a hot mess right now.
Yeah, you are.
I don't even know what happened.
I bet I can tell you the fucking lid wasn't on all the way.
It was,
turkey.
Though. I made sure, but I even held the lid as I did that.
I'm making pork burgers with cheddar cheese inside. That patty.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. That is going to be such a greasy mess, too.
I know. I put it on cleaning it up.
Yeah, you're going to have to pull out the big gun, which is this bad bitch over here.
Always have to pull out. Why do I have to keep pulling out?
We've been over this. I can't believe you did that.
I can't believe it did that.
Like, literally, it happened, and I was like, oh my god, we both started laughing, and I was like, I have to pull my phone out and record this.
It's awful.
I can't believe you got this today at a yard sale for $15, and it's basically brand new. It's just dusty.
Yeah.
She said that she never really used it. And DC's been wanting one for at least about a year now, and we've said, like, hey, let's wait when we might find one at a yard sale, save money, and what do you know?
We did.
And the seat's adjustable and everything. Wow.
Wow.
We gotta get this down our basement to our workout room.
Yeah.
And then we are going to go wash cars today.
Yeah.
Are you gonna wear a bikini when you wash cars?
I was thinking a
For me?
Speedo.
Ooh. Is it this little butt in a Speedo? I'd like to see that.
I bet you would.
I would. You just sitting on your ramp? What are you doing? What are you doing, Mimi?
I'm just hanging around.
She's just sitting there. Even Mia's like, what are you doing? Hey guys, I just wanted to take a moment to talk about something a little bit more serious. And I'm not going to get too into it because I don't want it to be like a sob story. But I just got news that my father potentially has cancer again. He's been through it twice. The first time was the worst. He had very aggressive cancer, had the radiation, had the chemo. It was like a year battle. Had the stem cell thing, I can't remember what it's called, and got through that, survived it, lived several years, no issues, and then most recently, I don't know if I think I might have put it in a vlog a while ago. It was last year. It was 2 years ago. He had a different type of cancer, had major surgery done, had exploratory surgery on top of it. So they removed the cancer that they could see, and then they basically removed the organs around it, cleaned them off, tried to get anything that could have been affected. And I believe in that surgery, in addition to removing organs, because they removed a couple things and cut a couple things off, they also removed like 38 lymph nodes, that basically anything that looked enlarged. And then they did a major abdominal repair because he had so many abdominal surgeries that it was pretty damaged. As far as he had like several hernias and stuff, just from like the muscles not repairing correctly. But I didn't want to get into too much of a sob story. I just wanted your guys' advice because we just got news a couple weeks ago. His blood work, something came back that they were worried about. And as a cancer survivor, because he beat that cancer as well, that he has to get MRIs every 6 months. And we're almost to the 6-month mark. And they said, hey, we're going to bump it up because we've seen something on your blood work. So we're just like hoping it's just something benign, nothing, no big deal. And it came back on the MRI. There's definitely something growing again. So tomorrow I take him for his small operation where they're going to be doing a biopsy. I don't know if they're just doing a biopsy or if they're going to try to remove the mass as well. He's kind of private about a lot of that stuff. That's why I'm trying to be careful not to share too much on here. But I wanted your guys' advice on how to support him, if you had any suggestions. And because, I mean, obviously, I'm driving him there and we're emotionally there for him. But he's very closed off with his emotions. So we try to like every time he's had cancer or surgery, we go over there and we mow his yard. We try to help out however we can. But I just feel so bad for him because he's, I don't want to say a health freak, but he eats very good. He works out. He's very healthy. He takes really good care of his body. And it's just life is just not fair sometimes that this man now has to go through a third cancer I just don't understand it sometimes. It's just, it's hard sometimes. And I spoke with him on the phone just a few minutes ago. That's why I'm a little bit emotional right now. But um, he's stressing having to go through chemo again. He's got a port put in. If you don't know what a port is, it's like this device that's permanently in you, and they do your chemo treatments through the port. It goes straight to an artery that way. And basically, because it like heals shut, what they'll do is they'll give you like numbing cream, and then they repuncture a new hole every time, every 2 weeks. So he was waiting to the 1 year mark to get rid of his port to be cancer free, and we're almost to the 1 year mark, and now he just got news that it potentially is back, or a second kind, or a different kind, we don't know yet. So I'm glad that he still has the port, but he is stressing because the port treatment is like a 6 hour thing. Every 2 weeks, you got to go to the chemo treatment place and sit with this port in you for 6 hours. And like that alone, like, and just the amount of pills you got to take. And it frustrates me that it's 2024 and we haven't made a better system for cancer patients so that they don't have to suffer any more than they already have to. And I think this is why, like, seeing him go through it kind of gives me that realization of this is why so many people go through cancer or treatment one time and then they don't ever want to go through it again because it's so miserable. And that if we could somehow make this treatment better or less time consuming, less invasive, that I think more people would be willing to go through chemo treatment again. And he reassured me he was going to do it, but was really dreading it already. And it just breaks my heart, that he even has to go through this a third time. This poor man, like, it's just so frustrating. But I wanted to ask your guys' advice on how I could support him, and if you had any suggestions of things from maybe your family members or someone you knew that you heard someone did something and it really helped them, let me know. I offered to go with him to his chemo treatments, and he does not want that. He's very private and tries to put on a strong front and that he doesn't need any help. So most of the time when we help him, it's usually me and DC just doing it. Like, we don't ask him, we just do it. We'll just come over and mow. We'll just come over and do, whatever. So, yeah, that's just him. He doesn't like to ask for help. And I remember his last cancer treatment, the surgery was really bad. And they sent him home when he couldn't even use the bathroom by himself. And I was like, what the heck? How do they just send somebody home and they can't even use the bathroom? So I actually took off a week of work and I stayed in his guest bedroom, and he was so mad that whole week. He was so mad. And then when the week was over, he was like, okay, maybe you were right. I did need help, and thank you, you and DC, for everything. But like, he wasn't going to ask for it. We had to do it. Because the main surgery, like, he was in the hospital for a little less than a week, and it was not terribly far from where we live, but it was enough of a drive that it wasn't something we wanted to do every day. So we went and got a hotel, and when he found that out, he was really mad. And I was like, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do? So yeah, if you have some advice or some suggestions, please leave them down below. And I would really appreciate the support or just the guidance that, maybe if you heard something or you went through something similar. But there's a part of me too that just, I don't know if I can say it without crying. Like, I don't want him to have to go through all that, but the selfish part of me doesn't want to lose him. So that's something I'm dealing with too, because obviously I want him to do everything possible, to make it through, but then at the same time, it's like, I don't want him to have to go through that again. So, dang it, I even, like,
promised myself I was not going to cry during this vlog, but I wanted to document it because I know that our family's not the only one going through this. There's other families who are also going through this stuff too. And I want you guys to know that if you're going through that, you're not alone, and there's support here. If you ever need anything, I'm always here um, to help give you support as well. Because everyone deserves to have someone to lean on, and everyone deserves to have a safe place to express themselves. So if you're going through this, like, know that this comment section is a safe place, and I won't tolerate anything less than it being safe. So yeah, just know that you're not alone, and that life is unfair and it sucks sometimes. But my dad is very important to me in DC. He's been the staple parent in both of our relations, both of our lives. And DC doesn't have a dad. Well, his dad's not in his life. And my dad's really stepped up and took him in. And he's a big part of both of our lives. He's the main parent in our life. He's the one, my dad's the one that's always there. If you ever need anything, that man would like come over in the middle of the night to help you, and it just is so unfair, you know. So, and what's crazy is he went recently, there's this new test, it costs about $2,000, and it's a new extensive blood test that you can get, and it'll basically tell you if you're going to get cancer genetically. So it's like, I don't know how it works, but it basically looks at like the cancer that you've had, and if you will have cancer or have a chance of having cancer in the future. So he went and got that done, even though it cost $2,000, so that he could know, like, you know, am I prone to more down the road or whatever before he gets his port taken out, and it came back clean. So it's like, for him to have it again, it's just like, what? That's crazy, right? And the whole system, like, from the first time he had cancer, when you're a cancer survivor, they do like MRIs and blood work every month, and you work up to 4 months, and then 6 months, and then eventually you go to every year. And he was doing every 6 months, and they were working up to a year. So I think he was at like 8 or 10 months. They were doing MRIs and stuff and scans, and they were talking about pushing him back to 1 year, because if you do too much radiation like that, you can actually cause yourself to get cancer. So that's what they were talking about, because it had been so many years since he had cancer. And then he goes to a new doctor, and the new doctor says, hey, we found something on your skin. By the way, it was freaking massive. When they took it out, they told me it was like the size of like their arm from here to here. Like, that's how big the mass was. And they said it has been growing for like probably 2 years or so. And I was like, do what? So, and I know that it's a process, but for his family, him getting the blood work every month and getting the test every couple months and the MRIs every 6 months and all that other fun stuff, every time it was a big deal. Like, he would say, you know, hey, my scan's coming up. And so, like, when he would get the results back and it would be negative, it was like a sigh of relief that I didn't have to worry I was going to lose my dad for at least the next 6 months. That I would get him in my life for hopefully the next 6 months. But now that I know throughout that whole time, this cancer he had the second time had been growing like 2 years or so, that whole time we thought he was safe, he wasn't. So now it's like there's just no security. There's no rest assured test came back negative. So this started, his cancer journey started when I was, I believe, 14 or 15. And then I'm just now 31. And he's been going through this for almost 20 years. Something like that. So, yeah, it's been a roller coaster for our family, because it's like, you just never know. And yeah, yeah. So it's hard to trust your doctors and hard to trust their tests when obviously for 2 years they weren't working. And then this time they noticed like the smallest little thing, and it's like just a different doctor looking at it. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but they found it this time. So I'm fingers crossed that we got it. They caught it early enough that hopefully he won't have to have like any invasive surgery and he'll just do chemo. Not like chemo's not a big deal. It is, but you know, it's chemo is hard on your body, but doing chemo, radiation, and surgery is just awful. And it's very hard to see your loved ones go through that, especially like my dad's always been like the one that's invincible. He would always like run laps around even me as a teenager. He could run laps around me, and to see him not be able to get up and down out of a chair without help and stuff, it's really hard to see a loved one go through that. But we are at the 14-minute mark, so I'm going to cut this off because I don't want to drag it out too much for you guys. But yes, this is a safe place, and if you have any advice, please let me know, and just know that you're not alone, and if you need somebody, I'm always here, and I'm sure there's lots of other people out there too that will be there for you.